What if Warner Brothers wasn't just a movie studio, but a transmitter, a signal tower for archetypes, chaos, and control? From The Matrix to Animaniacs, from casting calls to satellites, Warner Brothers isn't just producing entertainment. They're scripting timelines, broadcasting archetypes, and coding the grid. Let's start with the icon that made it all so obvious: the Warner Brothers Water Tower. Built in 1927, originally functional, yes, but mythologized into something much more. By the 1990s, in Animaniacs, it became a containment chamber, holding Yakko, Wacko, and Dot until they broke loose. But symbolically, water is memory, towers are signal, and the Warner Tower becomes a transmitter of psychic chaos, holding cartoon avatars who speak in riddles, bend time, and know they're in a show. They're not just characters, they're leaks in the system, and the tower, a visual metaphor for media containment and frequency release. Even their name, Animaniacs, sounds suspiciously close to animus, the Jungian masculine subconscious. Now fast forward. In 2021, Warner Media merged with Discovery under telecom giant AT&T, and in 2024, Warner Brothers Discovery signed a global satellite contract expanding their broadcast infrastructure beyond streaming and into orbit. This is not fiction. Warner Brothers is now embedded in satellite-based content delivery, broadcasting media frequencies across Europe and beyond through orbital receivers. So now we have the Matrix as symbolic code, AT&T as the data infrastructure, and Warner Brothers partner with satellites actively shaping the media. This isn't metaphor anymore. This is a broadcast system, a literal tower-to-satellite feedback loop tracking human behavior, refining storylines, and embedding frequency-based entertainment. And that brings us to casting. Because Warner Brothers doesn't just produce content, they produce avatars. Casting is code alignment. What if actors are selected not just by skill, but by energetic resonance? What if a role in a Warner film isn't just a character, but a planetary archetype being dropped into the collective to steer perception? Actors are mirrors, and when cast correctly, they generate resonance. When miscast, the system glitches. What if your favorite character isn't just a coincidence, but part of a collective attunement protocol? This is not a new phenomenon. Warner Brothers released The Matrix in 1999, a story about waking up from a simulated reality, discovering your identity has been constructed, coded, and controlled. In The Matrix, Neo isn't chosen, he chooses himself. He reclaims sovereignty from the system. And now, we live in that system. Phones, towers, data mining, geolocation, and now satellites controlled by the very companies that write the scripts. Art imitates life? Not anymore. Now art trains the algorithm. So, let's pull the thread. Warner Brothers is a film studio rooted in psychic archetypes, symbolized by a tower of memory, partnered with AT&T and satellites, and broadcasting media into the sky and psyche simultaneously. They're not just making shows, they're scripting reality through narrative patterning, actor resonance, and satellite signal. And the Animaniacs? They were never just cartoons. They were chaotic avatars released from containment, glitching the grid with divine nonsense. The joke was never just a joke, it was a ritual. If this resonates, you're already reading between the frames. This is exactly the kind of pattern recognition we explore at tailoredhealingcollective.com. If you want to go deeper, download my guidebook, The Coded Reality, available now in the Library of the Oracle. It breaks down how media, memory, money, and mysticism all intersect to shape the timeline we're living in. The tower is active, the signal is live, and the next role might already be cast. This has been a Tailored Healing Transmission.